We do have some support vehicles here that keep that Blimp team moving around the country for all the races this year. Now I want to welcome Dale Earnhardt Jr., driver of Hendrick Motorsports, number 88 car, and Seth Klugherz, Director of Marketing for the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. And we're here to share a really important announcement. So Seth, let's turn it over to you to see about the big news.
Thank you very much, Larry. We at Goodyear are very excited to extend our existing relationship with Dale Jr. Dale is a true expert who relies on his tires to perform at the highest of levels, both on the track and off the track. The creative collaboration between Goodyear and Dale Jr. was really a natural fit.
Dale, what does this announcement truly mean to you? You've been involved with Goodyear for so many years.
Yeah, Goodyear's been a huge part of our sport for so long. And the dedicated tire manufacturer for NASCAR at the Cup level. And we rely on their durability and their development and expertise every time we get inside the car. And it's awesome to be able to be a part of the process and developing tires and helping them understand what we're learning on the racetrack and to be able to take that out and put it on the street tires they sell to customers every day.
All right, so now if you could now direct your attention to the screen in the front of the room for the debut of the newest Goodyear commercial featuring Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I was made in the shadows of greatness, shaped by the hands of legacy, forged in the fires of racing. I've been challenged, tested, and proven. Whether it's on that track or off, the truth is, what you're made of is what you're made to do.
Well, Dale, you've been a part of a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
What did you think about this spot?
I love the idea of the spot from the very beginning, and we shot that locally at Concord Motor Speedway. Actually, it turned some laps in my career a few times. It was a lot of fun to shoot, and it really turned out well. I think it's, you know, it sort of speaks on the history of Goodyear and how the tires are made and how they kind of take a life of their own. But they did a good job of the spot, and it turned out really well.
Now, Seth, Goodyear, they've done some really interesting commercials over the years, but what is your take on this particular one?
Yeah, we're thrilled, as Dale alluded to. Really that mutual passion of the sport and the Goodyear tires really showed through brilliantly.
All right, so we have a few questions, and I'm going to throw a few at you, Dale, and they've come from the media. Growing up around the track, what did Goodyear mean to you? I mean, this is your 17th season in Sprint Cup alone.
Yeah, they've just, you know, they're an icon in the sport, and it's been fun to try to understand and learn and grow with the relationship, and they're out there trying to produce a great tire for us to be able to put on great races, and there's a lot of communication, good communication going back and forth between the drivers and NASCAR and Goodyear on the direction the tires are going and how to improve the tires, and because the tires really have a huge effect on the sport and what the racing looks like to the customer who's watching. So it's a great relationship. It's always a moving target. The tracks are always changing. The surface of the tracks are always changing. So the tires are always changing for Goodyear. It's a very tough challenge that they have each year trying to provide us with the best tire they can, and they do a great job.
All right, our next question. We know how short a commercial can be, but we also know how long it could take to shoot a commercial like that. Was there anything unique that happened on the set while shooting this commercial?
You know, those commercials take a lot of hours. There's just a lot of people. You know, you show up and you're going to shoot this 15 or 30-second spot, and there'll be a couple hundred people running around making things happen. It was a very big production that we had out there this year, and lasted on into the middle of the night. You got to shoot some scenes throughout the afternoon, and as the sun's in a certain spot in the sky, they got to get this shot done in this little window and so forth. So it was very smooth and high production, and I think a high quality spot.
All right, we know all the media, they want to know. We know your fans want to know. Nobody had a better average finish at the restrictor plate races last year than Dale Earnhardt Jr. Not only did you win 2, your average finish in those 4 races, 1.75. And you got the car that you had a lot of the success with here, Amelia, we're calling it.
Right.
How do you feel? I know we got the dual race, but how do you feel about Sunday?
You know, I'll be really excited if we're on the starting grid Sunday and I've got Amelia there beside me. That car's just been amazing, as you said, over the last year. We ran that car 4 times in the season last year. We also won the 150 duel with that car as well. So it's got a heck of a track record. It's very fast, obviously starting in our second in our duel and third overall in qualifying. So the car still has great speed comparable to the competition, and as long as it does, we'll keep bringing it back to the track. But we feel good about our opportunity Sunday. As long as we can get through the practices and the duel in one piece, we'll be in good shape.
And let me remind you, if you do win the Daytona 500, you can forget running that car the rest of the year because it's going to stay in Daytona.
I don't have any problem with that. If we get that win, we'll definitely lend that old car to Daytona for the whole year and go try to build us another one.
All right, going back to the commercial spot, Dale, did you really grasp what story was trying to be told with this commercial? There's definitely a storyline there.
Yeah, it was sort of, it's sort of going on how a tire's made from start to finish and how a driver's career is made from start to finish, and the fact that a driver relies on the tire throughout his career and builds that relationship. But it's just, both of them, Goodyear has a huge passion for the sport, and obviously if you're a race car driver, you definitely have that passion as well, and they go hand in hand, and I think the commercial does a great job of reflecting that.
I think we take for granted that these race cars weigh 3,300 pounds, and the only thing connecting them to that racetrack are those 4 Goodyear tires.
Yeah.
I know you've won 2 Daytona 500s, you've got 26 Sprint Cup Series wins, you've won 2 Xfinity Series championships on Goodyear, but is there a favorite moment that when you think about your career about Goodyear?
They've been on our cars in all those wins. Throughout all the success we've had, they've been a huge part of this sport, and one of my favorite things about Goodyear is how dedicated they are. The trophy that you get from Goodyear at the end of the year when you particularly win the championship is quite amazing, and one that I'd love to get a hold of. Dad had several of those in the house, and I thought those were the coolest things when I was a little kid. But it's a relationship that we depend on, and obviously we want a safe tire, but we also want a tire that we enjoy, and we work with Goodyear day in and day out to try to produce that. And it's a moving target for Goodyear and a very tough situation to be in, especially with the rules changing year to year. Goodyear has to evolve as the cars and the rules evolve. When speeds change in the middle of the corner, Goodyear has to change, and so it's a very difficult job that they do to try to produce us a great racing tire. And they do it year in and year out, and we work really hard with them to help them accomplish that goal. So it's a very trusted relationship, and that's why they've been in the sport and been the only tire supplier in the sport for most of NASCAR's existence.
Well, Dale, we know you've got a busy schedule, and we thank you for being a part of this. And Seth, I want to thank you personally for being a part of my career for 20 years working on these race cars and being able to win the Daytona 500 in 1998 with Dale's dad, Dale Earnhardt Sr. And we want to thank you for tuning in. And remember, 12 noon on Sunday, Fox NASCAR, the 58th running of the Daytona 500. It will be our 13th Daytona 500 to be broadcasting on Fox. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, here, let me get your chair. There you go.
Pull that from under me. Pull that from under me.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for being here for Furniture Row Racing's announcement. We're real excited about today, and after the announcement, I just want you all to know that right outside the fan zone wall, we're going to do a car unveiling with our new sponsor, and as you can see, it's Auto Owners Insurance. And to make the official announcement, first of all, I'd like to introduce everybody up on the head table here. To my far left is Joe Garone, president of Furniture Row Racing. Our driver, Martin Truex Jr., and vice president of Auto Owners, Lee Janice. So, Joe, take it from here and tell us what's happening.
Well, thanks, Dave. I think you just announced the Auto Owners coming on board with us. So, you kind of opened it up. We are excited at Furniture Row Racing as we move forward in the 2016 season to welcome Auto Owners Insurance on board. We're looking at a partnership that'll be 3 primaries and 3 associates, starting at the Brickyard, Darlington, and Martinsville too. And we're just, as our team grows and expands, we're really looking forward to these relationships and the ability to be a good partner and bring some success to our partners. So welcome aboard.
Yeah, well, thank you, Joe. Really appreciate that. And we're really proud to be with Furniture Row Racing and Martin. It's something that Auto Owners goes back. We're celebrating 100 years this year, as a matter of fact. So it's very appropriate that when we get to do a great, what we think is a wholesome family events that you do every year with the series, with NASCAR, and in particular now with Martin, we're thrilled at the opportunity. The other thing that we like about it is it's a local connection. The fans identify very closely, as you know, Martin, with the sport. And as a result, we also, selling through independent agents, also feel a connection to the local community, just like NASCAR does with their fans. So it's a great connection for us, and we feel honored to do that. So thanks again for coming on, letting us come on board, I should say. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're very excited, obviously, as Joe mentioned. We've had a lot of big news this offseason. It's really been a change of things for Furniture Row Racing and bringing in sponsorship and partners on the race car for the first time in 10 years, I guess. So everybody's really proud at Furniture Row Racing to be able to do that. And, bringing new people into the sport is always exciting for us. So looking forward to a great partnership and a great season.
Yeah, one of the things that we liked also is that we become the official insurance sponsor for Furniture Row Racing. One of the things that's particularly appealing to us is where they're headquartered out in Colorado, in the Denver area. We also have operations out there, and it's a little bit different. They do things maybe a little bit in a unique way, and that's kind of the way we think we've been around for 100 years, because we do things a little bit different and unique through local agents. But anyways, we're, again, proud to do that. A couple of things that I also would like to emphasize is that, again, NASCAR feeling like family, that's something that in relationships, as we all know, is very, very important. So, again, it feels like a natural fit for us.
Stan, you have a question? Anybody else has any questions, please raise your hand and we'll get you a mic. Stan?
Yeah, Stan Creekmore from RPMTonight.com. For the gentleman from Auto Owners, what connected you to not just Furniture Row Racing, but any racing team within such a huge level of sports?
Well, that's a great question. We do feel that, we do a lot of advertising through sports, through other types of sporting activities besides motor racing. I will tell you that because of the connection that most fans have with teams, it makes it easier for us to get our connections with teams and that local connection that way much easier. When you get, people are passionate about sports in the United States, and if it's anything from baseball, football to NASCAR, people have a passion for that. And so it feels very, to us like a natural fit to do that. And we've done it for a little while. So this is, our third year in doing and kind of little bit getting our feet wet in the whole process. But it's been wonderful. We love it. Mm-hmm.
Jordan Bianchi, SBNation.com. This is for Joe. Joe, it seems since last year the momentum for this team is just keeps going and snowballing. You've got, it's a team that hadn't have a lot of sponsorship in the past. Now you've got 2 sponsors coming on board now. What is the outlook for this going forward, and where are we at with 2 cars? Are we getting closer now because the sponsorship keeps coming in?
Yeah, well, sponsorship is key for the second car. It's key for the primary car, for our 78 car right now as well. The performance in particular over the last 3 years, it's just, you can't say enough about performance. And when you have it on the track, like we had last year in particular, things happen. I mean, it's just, it's paramount. So because of that, a lot of these kinds of opportunities has certainly opened up. And you remember, Furniture Row Racing is sponsored by Denver Mattress. We have our own sponsors, and we've stepped away from that, opening inventory up on the car once we felt like we could be a good partner and do a good job for partners that come on board, and that's where we're at now.
Jerry, did you have a question? Yeah. Okay. I think a microphone is coming your way.
For Lee, basically, and this expands on Stan's question a little bit. People say that NASCAR is in a decline, but you guys are obviously stepping up. What is the reasoning, or what did you see that would contradict what some people say out there, and why is it so important to partner with Martin and these guys when you have those options?
Mm-hmm. Well, great question. I will tell you that we hear that word from time to time. The way we sell through independent agents, we hear that from time to time from all the experts in the industry that's in decline, and yet here we are after 100 years. NASCAR, we feel, is going to be around for a long time. It has a very loyal fan base. So if it is, then why is everybody here? I think we look at it as a great opportunity. And again, getting back to Martin, his track record from moving up as many places as he did from, I think it was 24th, if I'm not mistaken, to 4, from 14 to 15 was phenomenal. And to me, it's a great time to get into the sport and do more with the sport. And again, connecting with the people that are passionate about that sport. To me, it has something that lends itself, especially to the demographics of the people that attend the events and everything, that we would want to identify with. And we sell through local independent agents. In fact, I was having a conversation with somebody a little earlier about their insurance agent and how much they appreciated their services. So to me, it's a good fit. Whether or not it's in a decline, I haven't seen it yet.
And you got some Michigan roots there too, right?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, we're headquartered in Lansing, Michigan. We write in 26 states, which isn't bad considering we're the 17th largest insurance company in the United States, according to some surveys. And we don't write in all states. In 24 states, we do not. So anyways, we do, I think, a phenomenal job. Maybe I'm a little biased or greatly biased, but since I work for them. But nonetheless, we've grown that because part of the thing that we like about, especially Furniture Row Racing and Martin, is hard work. That's a core value of ours, and it's something that I've seen emphasized throughout the motorsports as well, and NASCAR in particular, is all the hard work that goes into performing at the races and the amount of qualifying and the amount of work that goes in. So the hard work, the loyalty, these are all core values that we also try to subscribe and live every day too.
We have any other questions for Martin, Joe, or Lee? Going once, twice. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, we're going to do a car unveiling right alongside the fan zone wall right now.